What is going on, guys? Vinny Vega here, and today I got a video about the unwritten rules of YouTube. Now, believe it or not, there are some unwritten rules of YouTube, and I think you guys should know what they are. So, first off, if you are a new YouTube channel, you're thinking about starting one, or you've had one out for a while, I suggest you stick around for this video, and well, let's get right into it, shall we? Now, these rules are not in any particular order. You can use them as you will. Let's get into the first one. The first one is leave the hate behind. Once you become a YouTuber, you have to pretty much keep it professional. Don't hate on other people's channels. I know I talked about this in my last video, where, some people will try to hate on channels that are much larger than theirs and try to, get their foot in the door, so to speak. And you really don't want to do that. I mean, speak your mind, speak your opinions, but stay away from hating on other people's channels, especially if another YouTuber has a huge following. This could be very, very bad for your channel, especially down the road. So try to keep it simple. If somebody hates on your videos, for example, let your subscribers take care of them. You don't have to engage in that hate. Just relax. You can always delete the comment if need be. I know there are some people out there that will actually engage in hate and they build their channels off of hate, but if that's not your thing, you gotta know right now, make sure you just stay away from it, period. Okay, so moving on, don't talk about how many views you have in a video, and also make a good description. Now, these rules were separate, but I decided to combine them just because they are kind of the same thing in a way. Now, what I mean by don't talk about how many views you have, don't ever mention, oh, I had, 100 views in my last video or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or, stuff like that. If you want to make a quick shout out in the video real quick, somewhere in the middle, hey, my last video made 100 views, thanks guys, something like that. But don't do it right at the beginning of your video, whatever you do. And also, what I mean by description is describe your channel in your about page on your YouTube channel. Don't just say, I've seen descriptions where it says, my goal for 100 subscribers, or at this point, and this point I want this many subscribers. Don't talk about that in your about page. Talk about your channel. Talk about what kind of gaming videos you're going to do, and whatever video you're going to do, period, for whatever YouTube channel you have. So don't get into what your goals are as far as how many subscribers you are. Don't think about how many subscribers you have. Don't get me wrong, it is a very important part of your channel, and trust me, and I don't say this very often, thank you very much for anybody who's subscribed to my channel currently. I love you guys, and you guys are what keeps me going. Just try to keep it simple in your description. Just describe you. Do your own thing. Enjoy the games you play, and be honest. Now this kind of stacks on top of what we just talked about. Now you want to do your own thing, basically. Don't try to copy everybody else. I mean, I know the gaming industry is oversaturated. It's very hard to be, unique. And there's nothing wrong with, having, weapon guides and stuff like that. It's perfectly natural. I mean, everyone has their own opinion on certain loadouts and stuff like that as far as gaming goes. Enjoy the games that you play. Don't play something that just because it's popular. Or if you don't like the game, you're not going to want to talk about the game, period. So That's what leads into getting into being honest. Always be honest with your subscribers. I can tell you right now that I've always been honest with every one of you guys ever since I started, and I'm going to continue being honest, no matter what. And last but not least, network in the right way. Do not ever, ever, ever sub for sub. Now what I mean by networking in the right way, don't reach out to larger channels. Let's say you have 1,000 subscribers. Don't reach out to someone who has, 100,000 subscribers or whatever. Chances are they're not going to really give you the time of day as far as feedback to your channel directly. It's not going to benefit them, especially if they do a shout out for you or something along those lines, or whatever the case may be. Unless they're actually doing some kind of series where they do a shout out for smaller channels, that might be an exception to that rule. But other than that, I would suggest staying away from that area, and you should probably go for channels that are more your size, or even someone that has less than 5,000 subscribers. Chances are they'll give you feedback. You want to private message them, and you want to say, hey, can you maybe check out my channel and give me some feedback on what I got going on, maybe some advice. A lot of times people will be willing to do that for you. You might not always get a response, but sometimes you will. But make sure you do it in a private message. When you do this, when it comes to a video content, you want to talk about what pertains to the video. You don't want to ask somebody to sub for your channel. So the people who are doing this right now, if you are doing it right now as you're watching this video, stop it. No. No. Stop doing this. Because it's really bad. And I can tell you right now, anybody who's ever asked me to sub for their channel in a comment section was already marked for spam. I'm not even joking. Every single one. You will get marked for spam by somebody if you do this. So to avoid being marked for spam, just don't do it, period. Like I said, this goes back to the rule I talked about earlier. Do your own thing and just focus on your channel. This also leads me into a video that I saw recently about sub for sub, and I suggest you watch it as well. It's by a guy named John, and he really does sum it up, nail in the head. I linked that in the description below, so definitely check that out after watching this video, for sure. It's definitely very insightful if you are practicing this sub for sub nonsense. And trust me, you don't want to get involved in that because it's really overall bad for your channel overall. I myself would prefer to fight and claw my way up, so to speak, if that makes any sense to you. But anyways, I think that will conclude things for this. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below on the unwritten rules of YouTube. What have you learned along the way? And is there something you want to maybe add to the rules that I may not have mentioned in this video? Or do you flat out disagree with me? So please leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to rate this video, and I'll see you on the next one.